Praise the Lord, my dear friends. We are on the 18th Sunday of Ordinary Times, and today in the responsorial Psalm, Psalm 90, we read, "Teach us to number our days, that we may gain wisdom of heart." What exactly does this mean? We are asking the Lord to teach us to number our days. Okay, one way of understanding this may be that we are asking the Lord to let us know how short is our life, that we may be wise as we continue to live in this world. But there is another way of looking at this. We are asking the Lord to help us to number our days. Numbering our days would mean having a specific timetable, a schedule for ourselves, to set our priorities right, to decide what exactly are we going to focus in this coming 7 days this week, or the coming 30 days in 1 month, and so on. Numbering our days and to set our priorities right, and to really focus on what we decide on. And in this regard, how do we know whether we are on the right track or not? It's simple enough to see how are we spending our free time. The quality of the way in which we spend our free time will reveal the quality of our personality. Maybe we can just look into the past days, the past weeks, or the past months and analyze how we have been spending our free time. Most of the time during the day, we may be occupied with some responsibilities which we are actually supposed to fulfill. Those of us who are students, we may be busy studying. Those who are working may be busy in the offices or schools or colleges and so on. What about the time that we have when we are all by ourselves? Maybe when we are resting in the afternoon, or after the dinner when we come back to our rooms till we go to bed. How are we spending our free time? The way we spend our free time will show what exactly are our priorities. That's why the psalmist says, "Teach us to number our days." The psalmist does not want to waste even a single day, so he wants to count every single day and set it apart for doing something that is serious. And in the second reading, St. Paul in his letter to the Colossians says, "Seek the things that are above. Set your minds on things that are above and not on things that are on earth." So let us ask ourselves, what are our priorities? Are we focused on things that are above or on things that are on earth? And he continues to say, "Put to death therefore what are earthly in you. Sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desires, covetousness, which is idolatry, and telling lies to each other, and so on." Do we at times find that we ourselves are struggling with some of these? And interestingly, if we have been spending a lot of our free time in any of these, we will realize that such thing does not actually satisfy us. The more we indulge into it, the more we long for it. Does not give us peace of mind. And like what we hear in the first reading from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, everything is vanities, vanity of vanities. Any individual who focus on earthly pleasures and passions alone and carelessly indulge himself or herself in it will realize at one moment or other that his or her life is just vanities. And that person will understand what is meant that we read in the first reading. Even in the night, his heart does not find rest. Yes, the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1 we have, even in the night, his heart does not rest. Because there is a longing for more and more of this kind of pleasures. And that's exactly what we see in the gospel. Luke chapter 12. Here Jesus speaks about a rich man who wanted to tear down his barns in order to build larger ones. Just imagine any rich person, or any person for that matter, who makes barns, makes larger than what he actually requires. No one makes a barn just what is required or less than what is required. And now, here this man feels that he has to tear down the barns in order to make larger ones, in order to store the crop that he had on that year. That means he had much more than what he actually required. If his barns are full, that was already more than what he actually required. But now, he is not satisfied. He wants even more. He wants to tear down his barns and build larger ones. Material possessions do not satisfy him. There is a craving for more. So if material possessions cannot satisfy us, what exactly can make us truly happy, satisfied? And that again we read in the responsorial psalm from Psalm 90. It says, "At dawn fill us with your merciful love, and we shall exult and rejoice all our days." At dawn fill us with your merciful love, and we shall exult and rejoice all our days. Yes, it is the experience of the merciful love of God that can actually satisfy us, that can actually fill us with joy and exultation. But how can we constantly enjoy this merciful love of God? And for that, we have to make sure our focus is not on things that are on earth, but on things that are above. And in order to achieve that, the way we spend our free time is very important. Let us just look into ourselves and see how are we spending our free time. And again, St. Paul in the second reading says, "You have put off the old self and practices and put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge after the image of the Creator." Putting off the old self and putting on the new self. And that is constantly being renewed in knowledge. How can we make sure that kind of a renewal takes place constantly in our life? And here he says that kind of renewal takes place in knowledge. So we need to gain more knowledge about God, about love of God, about the way the Lord cares for us, and so on. And how can we do it? Maybe we can take a decision to spend half an hour, 45 minutes regularly in something that will elevate us spiritually. Apart from the regular Bible reading or scripture reading, we can take up maybe a particular spiritual book and spend time every single day, 30 minutes each, spending our free time meaningfully. And that knowledge will help us to understand how we can put our old self away and put on the new self constantly. Or if we are finding it difficult to take a book and read, and if we feel that we spend a lot of time with the mobile phones, we can download some useful applications and spend time with that. There are wonderful Christian or Catholic applications available, like Catholic Answers. We can download, search for a particular topic and see the talks and listen to the podcasts. Maybe take a particular topic for a week and really listen to all the talks on that particular topic, take down notes, etc. And on the following week, take another topic and so on. Another useful application is Relevant Radio, or we have EWTN. All these are very beautiful Catholic applications. Formed is another application, FORMED. I'll give the links of all these applications in the description. Maybe you can just have a look, download these applications and listen to some of the podcast, and we will see how much of time we have been wasting in the past without really making use meaningfully. Now, when we talk about our free time, it's not about avoiding sins. No, it's about not making the best use of time. That's a problem. Here again in the second reading we have St. Paul saying, our life is hidden with Christ. If our life is hidden with Christ, then Christ is always with us, even when we are hidden, right? Even in our free time, even when we are all by ourselves, Christ is with us. And of course, He is with us to constantly lead us more and more into the life that is focused on things that are above. So, let us make the best use of the time that we have with ourselves, focusing on things that are above and not on things that are on the earth. May God bless each one of us.